Last week we talked about Claude Mythos, the AI Anthropic built that was so powerful they refused to release it. Today, April 23rd, OpenAI fired back. GPT 5.5 just dropped, and on 14 separate benchmarks, it beats Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.7. On one specific test, the hardest coding test in the industry, it even narrowly beat Claude Mythos itself. The AI arms race is not slowing down, it's accelerating. GPT 5.5 is not one model, it's two. There's the standard version rolling out today to ChatGPT Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users. And there's GPT 5.5 Pro, a more powerful variant for Pro, Business, and Enterprise. Both are live inside ChatGPT and Codex, OpenAI's coding tool, starting right now. The API version is coming. OpenAI says, very soon. OpenAI went hard on the benchmarks. On Terminal Bench 2.0, which tests how well an AI can navigate a command line, GPT 5.5 scored 82.7%. On SWE-bench, the industry's hardest coding test, 88.7. On MMLU, the broadest knowledge benchmark, 92.4. These are not small numbers. These are state-of-the-art numbers taken from Anthropic 1 week after Anthropic claimed them. But two numbers really stand out. On OS World Verified, which tests whether an AI can actually operate a real computer environment, clicking, typing, navigating web pages, GPT 5.5 scored 78.7. And on Tau2-bench Telecom, which simulates complete customer service workflows, it hit 98%. 98 without any prompt tuning. That's essentially perfect customer service from an AI out of the box. There's a benchmark called GDPval. It measures whether an AI can actually do knowledge work across 44 real occupations. Doctors, lawyers, analysts, accountants, engineers. GPT 5.5 scored 84.9%. OpenAI chose that name on purpose. GDP, as in gross domestic product, the model is being measured against the economy itself. Here's the number that should actually matter to you. Hallucinations, when an AI invents facts that are not true, dropped 60% compared to GPT 5.4. OpenAI credits a new training infrastructure they're calling O2. For the first time, you can almost trust what the model tells you. Almost. The context window is 1 million tokens, large enough to feed it your entire business codebase, your entire customer history, an entire novel, and still have it reason coherently across all of it at once. When ChatGPT launched 3 years ago, the context was 4,000 tokens. We are 250 times beyond that in 3 years. The biggest shift isn't the model, it's Codex. OpenAI's coding tool used to just suggest code. Now it can click through web applications on your behalf, it takes screenshots, it navigates pages, it operates software directly. OpenAI is calling this agentic computing. The AI is no longer just answering your questions, it's doing the work while you watch. OpenAI says GPT 5.5 pulls ahead specifically in 5 areas: writing and debugging code, researching online, analyzing data, creating documents, spreadsheets, and slide decks, and operating software across multiple tools until a task is finished. That last phrase matters. Until a task is finished, you give it the goal, it completes the work. There's a catch. API pricing doubled. $5 per million input tokens, $30 per million output, twice what GPT 5.4 cost. GPT 5.5 Pro will cost even more. OpenAI is betting that enterprises will pay more for a model that gets things right on the first try. Every sign suggests they will. Normally, when a model gets smarter, it also gets slower. GPT 5.5 broke that trade-off. It matches GPT 5.4's latency per token, and for Codex tasks specifically, it uses significantly fewer tokens overall. Faster thinking, fewer tokens per task. but more expensive per token. You do the math. The real story is bigger than the model. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president, called GPT 5.5 a step toward what OpenAI calls the super app. ChatGPT, Codex, and an AI browser fused into one unified workspace. Not three tools, one service that handles every knowledge work task you'd normally open three different apps to do. GPT 5.5 is the engine that makes that possible. GPT 5.4 released on March 5th. GPT 5.5 today, April 23rd. That's 7 weeks. Think about what that means. AI model releases are now shipping on the same cadence as phone software updates. Anthropic, Google, Meta are all matching this pace. The best model in the world this morning was Claude Opus 4.7. Tonight, it's GPT 5.5. Next month, something else. Independent analysts are saying GPT 5.5 writes code at the level of a senior engineer. Not a junior, not a mid-level, a senior, someone with years of experience who makes judgment calls, who designs architecture. The model doesn't just write functions that compile, it writes code that fits into a real system. That is not a small jump. Not everyone is convinced. Some researchers are calling this a version bump dressed up as a breakthrough. OpenAI's benchmark numbers are, for now, OpenAI's numbers. Independent verification takes weeks, and the doubled API price suggests OpenAI is confident it can charge more, though perhaps less confident that free tier users will keep paying without that premium tier. GPT 5.5 is not the end of anything. It's barely a punctuation mark in a sentence still being written. But if you're still thinking about AI the way you did 2 years ago, you are already 2 generations behind. The models are getting smarter. The release cycles are getting shorter. The super app is coming. The question is simple. Are you using these tools, or are they using the market that used to pay you?